Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. We are so happy to have with us this morning our friends from the Amish Country Theater, brothers Jeff and Braden Kahn. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, for folks who might be new in town, Amish Country Theater's got just an interesting history. How did this get started?
Well, it started 6 years ago. Our family came together and said there was nothing to do in Amish country after 6 o'clock once the shops closed up. So we've always been a fan of comedy, entertainment, specifically kind of down in the Pigeon Forge, Tennessee area, Gatlinburg type of shows that are popular down there. So we saw an opportunity to do that in Walnut Creek in Amish country. So we started it 6 years ago, and people have loved it. It's really caught on, and it's grown to the point where it is now.
You've almost had a built-in audience with people coming for the shopping and for the restaurants, and now with more and more hotels, yes? So kind of like, there you are. This is what you do, yes?
It is, yeah. It's kind of started as a side hobby for us when we began, and now we have over 50 employees working there, either full-time or part-time, and it's become a pretty much year-round operation now.
My goodness. All right. 50 employees. What do they all do?
Well, we started out with just the show. You know, we would do about 4 or 5 shows a week, and that was kind of the way we started the business. But as we've grown, we've followed new opportunities into whether it's catering events, traveling on the road with our troupe. Weddings has become a big part of our business now here at the Amish Country Theater.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we have a catering staff, actors, sound engineers, a whole wide array of different folks who help us out.
Sitting around a table and getting the idea, hey, let's do a show, that's one thing. But to actually then do it is quite another. Can you take us through the steps, what your family went through to go get from there to here?
Sure, absolutely. So we're blessed to know some people that we think are pretty funny. So when we started 6 years ago, we kind of gathered a good group of people around us that are really talented comedy writers, and a lot of them do the acting as well, as far as having a history with that, and they've had a lot of experience with that. So we write 2 new shows every year, and it's always completely family-friendly. We believe very strongly in that, so it's friendly for all ages. And so that way people can come back a couple times a year. Amish country is such a big destination to come several times a year, and they want to see a different show when they come, and then those new shows every year. So it takes a lot of writing. You write a whole lot of jokes, but it's been a great ride so far.
There's a big difference between being a funny person or being able to come up with the funny thing to say at the right moment and actually being a comedy writer, because being funny on demand and on command is quite a different thing than the spontaneous quip that you might come up with. So you actually knew people who knew the technique and the mechanics behind comedy writing, or has that come along with the work?
Yeah, we did. One gentleman in particular has a long history of this and had done it professionally, and he came aboard with us from the start and kind of got us going. And then as we've grown and kind of as our draw has increased, we've recruited kind of higher capacity, more and more talented staff to where, now that we're established, we filled out our team completely to the point where most of the shows we write now are our original content, which is great. Especially specifically this Christmas show season we're in now. We came up with an idea this year that our main character, his name's Leonard, and he's kind of that country bumpkin who's always interrupting and doing crazy stuff in the show. We sat around about 3 months ago and just decided what we wanted to do for Christmas. And we came up with the idea of, everyone loves this lovable character, Leonard, who's always misguided and kind of crazy. What would it be like to meet his family?
Oh, fun.
And the Christmas time of year is when your family comes into town. So what if throughout the show, Leonard's family came home for Christmas? So now the show that we're in now, it's called Christmas in the Country. That's kind of the idea behind the show. It's a variety show, so there's a lot of different acts, but kind of the miniature plot line throughout the show is Leonard's family keeps interrupting throughout the show, and you get to meet his Meemaw and his Pappy, his cousin Lester, his niece Lila. So very, very cool way to do the show. And yeah, we just got together in a brainstorm meeting one day, and we came up with that idea and then spent the next 3 months writing out what each of these characters will look like and what they do.
What can you tell us about the characters, what they do look like, without giving away too much, because we want to come see them for ourselves?
Yeah, Leonard's, his family is very unique. Obviously, they're always, one of Leonard's signature looks is his teeth. If you've seen Leonard, you know that his teeth are very funny looking country bumpkin. So each of his family member have kind of that signature look to them as well with their teeth.
They all have the same fixture that they.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's just say none of them are on
dental
a dental
work
plan.
The same dental work. I got it.
And none of them can afford the dental insurance. So they all look a little bit country bumpkin, but it's been a lot of fun doing the costumes because the Meemaw character celebrates the Nutcracker every year with Leonard. So part of the show, I don't want to give too much away, but
right.
You'll see, how she wants Leonard to participate with some of the ballet of the Nutcracker. And then his Pappy character, Braden, you know about Pappy actually.
Yeah, yep. So the Pappy's kind of the grandpa who, he kind of gets away with it because he's older, Mm-hmm. Everyone's got that kind of older grandpa or great grandpa where they can say just about whatever they want. Mm-hmm. They can really get away with it at the dinner table. So he's not afraid to say some things and tell some jokes that are just really funny that you don't expect coming from a guy of that age. And then Lila, the niece character, which would be his granddaughter, also is in those scenes with him, and they have some fun back and forth where they relate to one another like that, almost like she's his little sidekick, and they get into trouble together. It's a lot of fun.
Trouble and unexpected comments, and yet they're able to keep it clean and keep it family friendly, yes?
Exactly. Yep, exactly. Everything's always 100% family friendly.
So I've got to ask you, in this day of political correctness, do you get any kickback from portraying country people in this way?
It's a good question. We don't really, because I think the reason why is we're country people like that, and a lot of
but your teeth are better.
Yeah, right. But no, I think we always say that we don't say they come from a specific region. It's not like we're saying this character is from West Virginia or this guy's from Michigan, or it's always Leonard's family's from Goose Bottom. And Goose Bottom doesn't exist. It's not a real place. So you can always kind of laugh along with people instead of laughing at people. And since Goose Bottom's not really a real place, it's hard to laugh at someone who doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So
you guys are probably too young to remember Hee Haw, but you do remember Hee Haw?
Yep.
Have you seen Hee Haw?
Mm-hmm.
Would you compare this to a Hee Haw kind of a program?
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the easiest way to describe the show. Sometimes it's saying it's a lot like Hee Haw.
Where do you get the actors? Where do they come from now that you need more? Because you guys are big time now.
We're getting there. The actors, we've had the same troupe for about, Braden, 2.5 years now?
Yeah.
3 years?
Yeah.
When we started, we really had to recruit because we were starting from nothing. But now we've kind of got this core group of people who do it. I mean, they do 180 shows a year. So it's kind of their gig now, and they stay with us from year to year. A lot of them are involved with the writing. But most of them come from, within maybe an hour 15 at the most. So it's semi-local, I guess you could say.
So that's pretty cool. And yet they've also come with experience. So these are professionals.
Right.
This is not just you grabbing the neighbors and saying, let's put on a show.
Yeah.
I love that you said one of them actually had experience in professional writing. Where did you get this person? Who did he write for?
Well, Ken is his name, and he's traveled all over the country. He's been doing his acts for years and years and years on cruise ships.
Are you talking about Ken Groves, the ventriloquist?
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty well known.
He's incredible. Yep, and he's been all across the country, all around the world, honestly. So when he came onto the team back in 2013 is when he joined up. He really kind of raised the bar on how we wrote and how we created our acts, and then that kind of influenced the rest of the people we started to look for and who we would hire.
Because what you're talking about, it's work.
Yeah.
It's very not funny to sit down and put together something that's hilarious. There's thought to it. I know a little bit about this.
Yeah.
There's a technique and there's mechanics and there's absolutely things you do and things you do not do, and there are triggers that make people laugh. So it's fun, I think, to watch comedians, professional, do this because they're not laughing while they're doing it. Sometimes they might do something surprising that would make each other laugh. But it's serious business. Comedy writing is very serious business, isn't it?
It's hard to do. I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the hardest forms to write, just because you don't know how it will go over until you try it. So when we write, we come up with, a show, and we write it all down, and we rehearse it. But we're constantly rewriting because, the joke you think is going to hit hard and it's going to be great, might not once you put it in front of a live audience. And we're usually pretty quick. Maybe we give it 2 or 3 tries to get some different audiences in front of it, but we'll rewrite it if it doesn't land how we want it to.
That absolutely brings me to my next question. The good writing is in the rewriting. And who do you use to test market new material? Because there's groupthink. If you have your whole same gang together and everybody's saying, oh, that's great, go with that. I think that's how my interpretation alone, how Saturday Night Live has gone downhill so quickly. If everybody just in that small little group thinks they're all hilarious, you get nobody from the out saying, hey, that's not funny at all. Go a different direction. How do you test out material?
Yeah, great question. So we really like to try it out on a lot of different sample groups, and we like to make sure to go with different demographics. You know, one age group might think this is really funny. Another age group might not relate to it as much. So we really try to cover all the bases where we'll write something new, try it out on some smaller groups. It might just be some friends or maybe some avid fans that want to take part in kind of an exclusive, hey, get an early peek at our new material.
Fun.
That kind of a thing. Just making sure we're almost scientific with it a little bit where, okay, what did this age group think? What did this age group think? Trying to cover all our bases demographically.
Looking back, without telling us too much about what we will see in the Christmas one, because we don't want to spill all the beans, what have you found works great with all the age groups?
Sure. So something I think we did a really good job this year with our Christmas show is we have a lot of great comedy. The Ventriloquist, Ken Groves, as you know, Leonard's Family. We also have some great Christmas music, so it's more of a serious tone that kind of breaks up the comedy a little bit. We have the Straight Tie a cappella group and recording artist John Harris that's doing some great music in the show. And we really tried to do a good job of portraying the true meaning of Christmas, kind of that true Christmas spirit with the Christmas story, to definitely hit on those points, some of those more traditional songs. And even doing some more carols and a little bit from the Christmas story at the end of the show as well to make sure, yes, we're having fun, we're laughing a lot, but bringing in the true meaning of Christmas as well.
This just sounds so perfect. When is it, and how do people get tickets for this?
Well, the Christmas show is going on right now, so it's performed every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday at the Amish Country Theater. They can view the whole schedule online on the website, which is www.amishcountrytheater.com. or by calling the box office at 888-988-SHOW.
Can you give that one more time, please?
Yeah, it's www.amishcountrytheater.com, and the box office phone number is 888-988-SHOW.
All right. Where are you located for someone who's not been there yet?
We are right in the middle of Amish country. It's Walnut Creek, Ohio, State Route 39, which is the main road there in Walnut Creek, real close to the Der Dutchman restaurant that a lot of people are familiar with there.
And you can seat how many people in your theater?
Right now, we can seat about 325.
So I'm guessing it sells out pretty quickly, doesn't it?
It does. We added a lot of shows to this season. I think traditionally we usually ran anywhere between 12 to 15 Christmas shows, and they would always sell out. So in order to try and be able to draw more folks, we about doubled the schedule this year. So yeah, they're very full. They fill up quick, especially once December comes around. So if people are interested in seeing it, they should definitely call and make a reservation.
One thing I think happens a lot when you live in an area and you are so close to such great kinds of things that other people travel for, we tend to not go to it. So what would you say to the people who live in town who are seeing all these busloads of people coming in and enjoying this?
Well, I know for my family, I mean, I'm guilty of this sometimes. We'll drive down to Gatlinburg and go to shows.
Right.
When there's a bunch of shows around here, too. So if you're looking for a night out or a weekend and you don't want to take all the kids and the whole family and spend thousands of dollars on a vacation, you know, a nice night in Amish country is very affordable, especially if you're in the Canton area, Stark, Wayne, Holmes County area, just for a night out. It's a really, really fun show. And we get a lot of times people traveling from, like, the Lancaster area, Branson, Pigeon Forge, kind of the show capitals of the country, coming in and saying, wow, these shows are just as great as the ones we have back home.
That is a testimonial. And they are coming here.
Right.
How fun is that? Well, before we go to a break, tell them how they probably heard about it. Didn't you win some amazing award?
Yeah, so we won the American Bus Association actually awarded us as a top 100 event in North America. And that's just from the quality of the show and getting so many, motor coaches that come in and actually goes through this whole process of nomination and voting by all these group leaders and administrators. And we were voted a top 100 event in America.
In North America,
Yeah.
not Northeast Ohio.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, top 100. So, and it's right here, everybody. We can just be there in a blink of an eye. So awesome. All right, well, we do need to take a short break, but we're visiting with Jeff and Braden Kahn from Amish Country Theater. We'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.